I start with an idea, I put it on a paper, I work with shahids, I work with my mechanics, and at some day around 40th day or something, there is a motorcycle there, and you feel every cell of that motorcycle because you made the and the first time you kickstart it, and that deep growling sound, it complements a man inside. So it's very becoming, Tuk, 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 tuk. The bike starts.
Let him pick up the phone. You will rip apart the bike. I don't know. Means no worries for the rest of the day. You can see us.
For me, it started when I was about 5 or 6 when my dad put me on the back of his Enfield. Ever since then, I've looked forward to owning my bike and doing it up.
I had a neighbor, this South Indian gentleman who was also our tenant. He used to work with the American embassy in the transport division, And this man had just one kitchen and one room, okay? उसका जो एक living room था, उसमें he used to bring in a big motorcycle, a Triumph or a Honda, and he used to strip it apart completely, neatly put it on small newspapers with black marker written things, and there was grease and there was oil and that smell, and a small radio playing music. And man, that was my best thing to do, man. Like that's what I did. I just sat with him there, and I would help him. Sometimes there was no help. I'm a kid, how would I help him? But I would just put my hands in the grease and oil and do this, and because I wanted to be it,
My dad always had bullets, and I grew up on the tanker one. First time I fell with my dad was I was carrying eggs, and we fell off the bike, and neither did I get hurt, neither the eggs get hurt. I mean, when it was my turn to get a bike, it had to be an Enfield, so once you have an Enfield, have bike will ride.
यार बड़ा painstaking काम है motorcycle बनाना. Just look at the phenomena, man. An idea occurred in a mind that came on a paper, that went to Old Delhi, to a small boy who came a couple of years back from Aligarh. छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं यार, they are 12 साल, 14 साल, ये उम्र है उनकी. And they work in this shed. They are uneducated, they've learned their from the street, and I can bet they can create just about anything. They seem to share a special relationship with the metal. It's purely beautiful to see him work with his hammer on that piece of iron and shape it into what you want with their, छोटे छोटे हाथ साले यार. They work with welding machines and they are beating iron, and they have hands of a 50-year-old man. 3-3, 4-4 दिन लग जाते हैं एक सीट बनाने में, और उसमें खून, पसीना, तवायफ सब कुछ हो जाता है. दारू देनी पड़ती है, मॉली कॉडलिंग करनी पड़ती है, ईगो मसाज करनी पड़ती है, लड़ाई करनी पड़ती है, तो वो सीट बनती है. And then you take that motorcycle and you go places, man. The highest motorable roads in the world. So this motorcycle will take you there. When you're riding, you're on your own, your mind takes you places, you're one with the bike, you're gone, And then in India, कभी गाय आ जाएगी, कभी ट्रक आ जाएगा, कभी एक चीज़ होती है हिंदुस्तान में जिसे कहते हैं जुगाड़ और मारूता. वो आ जाता है साला, उनमें ब्रेक नहीं होती मेरे ख्याल से, उसको थोड़ी देर पहले बंद कर देते हैं तो वो रुक जाता है अपनी जगह पे. So we've encountered all of that, yeah.
Biking is something which takes you distances. I could go in a car, but that's not open enough. Biking is where you can feel the nature, you can feel the breeze on your face, on your body, on your hair.
It's been all about discovery. I've discovered places that I dreamt of going to, while I was growing up. I've discovered places like Ladakh, other places in the Himalayas. I've discovered a religion called Buddhism through my travels. I mean, I knew about Buddhism before, but I'm closer to it now. I'm actually learning about it a lot more. I discovered meditation with all my travels in the Himalayas. Photography has come up a long way. I mean, these are my basic interests, so it's been a lot of growth in those directions.
Straight line or parallel?
Those random chai stops and
Do your plain.
I love talking to local people, and they are thoroughly impressed with you. They think, wow man, ये motorcycle पे जा रहे हैं, and we dig that, we love that.
You can link bikes and their owners to a lot of things. Their characters, their taste in music. Yamaha riders are more thrill seekers. They like going fast. You say Royal Enfield riders are, very tough, big. They're battered and beaten by weather and the accident.
A bird has wings, doesn't know it has wings, doesn't know it can fly. Suddenly one day it can fly, and the flight is so damn exciting that it just wants to keep flying and never come down.
I think a motorcycle keeps a man very young. That's why he likes it. It's a balancing act. It's competition, it's speed, it's romance, it's music. I mean, on a fourth gear, every Enfield rider knows that soft purring sound on a turn when the echo changes with the bike. That purr, that it's, I don't know how to tell you that. It's a silent joy. The night before, you cannot sleep when you're leaving. No matter how much you try, you just cannot sleep, man. Up अपने bags, and you want to make it look good, yaar. It's not just. Let's not forget about that part, I want it to look good. My jacket, my boots. Pura, it's the whole thing. It should look unpretentious, but it requires that. It's a machine, it will break down. Though it's said about Enfields that वो पंक्चर भी घर में आके होती है, and it's the truth. At least 50 times with me. Or you have to keep your Enfield like a woman. To put it in a nutshell. You have to talk to the goddamn bike, man, sometimes. Caress it. All the energy you have to transfer. You have to love it. Forever you are fantasizing how will 10 bikes sound together. We accept the rider because of the sound, and then that leads to a fellowship, a bonhomie, between people, and then the ego clashes, and then the politics. I think wherever men get together to do something, by default, one will become the leader of the pack. There'll be sycophants there too, there'll be wannabes, there'll be loud, I'm not getting enough attention kind.
There is a great convergence that bikers would have, and like this is more of a male thing. It is close to a pack mentality too. It's like olden days of riding horses, and the closest I could remember would be, besides the cavalry, the Wild West, which was explored by the Europeans when they went and took on and so-called conquered the Americas, and they've kept riding west and trying to ensure that the sun doesn't set. A lot of them rode solo, but at the end of the day they probably got together at a saloon, at a bar or whatever, and then they gave their stories out, one learned from the other. That's exactly what the bikers do.
We're like children, always talking about the good things, you know. And the best is अगर कहीं पे लड़ाई हो जाए किसी से, जो हिंदुस्तान में बहुत होती है. And that feeling of those 25-30 Enfield stopping together to look at that person, that power trip, you know, it's beautiful. I will not deny it. It's amazing.
Nightfall कहते हैं पता है तेरे को?
Nightfall is called Swapna Dosh. I didn't know that. Napun Sapta. That I understand.
अच्छा प्यार दिखा नहीं सकते एक दूसरे को. When a newcomer comes,
तू आ जा यार, तू शीघ्र पतंग की प्रॉब्लम बता रहा है. आ जा यार, ठीक है.
उसकी क्या रैगिंग करते हैं? We will his happiness, you know. We'll test his salt completely.
Let's go यार.
Whenever I get time, I then carry on my adventurous pursuit, whether it's going to the mountains, going to the sea, going to the rivers, because that helps me enjoy the beauty, enjoy the people, and get on to what I think is my main pursuit, philosophy, and reaching a conclusion and probably finding some way to act upon it.
Great thinking happens while riding, man. I was a boy, a school dropout, wannabe dog trainer, and became alcoholic. Loss of my family, one after the other. Loss of my friend who died in the army. And at a very strange level, if I see the same hardships Royal Enfield has gone through. Left here by the Britishers, was considered either a Fauji bike or a, you know, an army bike or a policeman or a hardcore zamidar, you know, like a landowner, or a hardcore gangster, kunda, Pahalwan type, you know. Only he can ride it. The myth around bike साली स्टार्ट नहीं होती है. डज नॉट स्टार्ट. जैसे मैं स्टार्ट नहीं होता था, जैसे बचपन में ना मेरे को तंग आ गए वो. दे चेंज माई स्कूल्स. यार स्टार्ट हो जाए यार. हम स्टार्ट नहीं होते साले. स्टार्ट हो जाएगा तो पंचर हो जाएगा. अ वेरी स्टबन मोटरसाइकिल. एवरी एनफील्ड इज डिफरेंट. इफ आई कंपेयर माई सेल्फ टू अ रॉयल एनफील्ड, इट्स अमेजिंग सिमिलैरिटीज. चलेगा तो बड़ा अच्छा चलेगा. Royal Enfields are not consistent bikes. You know? It like rips, and that's how I've been. I've been very inconsistent all my life. From that time when I started riding an Enfield to now, the bike has evolved in people. In my case, when I'm spoken to, when I'm addressed, or when I'm even thinking of myself, it's very rarely I separate the two, you know. Bobby, man, person. We think differently, yeah.
What masculine is supposed to be, that's all bullshit. It's just a word. It doesn't really mean much.
When I see a woman in the vicinity, then suddenly this man thing comes in.
You are what you are. You can't go out and be like, I'm going to build like 6 packs and I'm going to be like masculine. You may still be a wussy boy.
I think every man has a dream to look fit and nice. Again, going to connect it with women, it's so they are liked, so they are appreciated, so. And in men, they want to appear stronger than the other always for some bizarre reason. I don't know. In fact, these are the fears or subtle pressures a man lives with throughout. He's competitive, unsaid, अभी दो लोग हम लोग ट्रैकिंग के लिए जाते हैं कभी. I walked with Vikram once. As friends, we started, man, in a hangover in the morning, and within like 10 minutes we are competing. Without, he's trying to make me talk, so I lose my energy, and I'm going and and we are competing. Women don't eat these days, or they do, I don't know, whatever forms of reinforcement they use, and they appear gorgeous and hot. आदमी क्या करेगा यार? वो तो बेचारा जिम जाएगा, बुरी तरह लगेगा. Do you think it's fun picking up that 150 kilos and वो करना पड़ता है?
I think women look for guys who can provide security, can make them laugh, can surprise them. They have to be able to surprise them, and who are good listeners. That basically sums up your perfect guy. Obviously, a six-pack and like 20-inch biceps would be good, but too bad.
It's so woman-centered, man. Sometimes, most of the times, a man's world. It seems he's getting all his validation, all his prowl, all his life from this one creature called the woman.
I mean, we're all juvenile in the head, and we all want to sit up all Sunday afternoons and drink beer and eat pork chops and watch the race, not get up and do anything, and just don't want to vegetate and want to ride and want to do up our bikes and play video games and just do all the crappy together. That's what the ideals are. That's what I look for in friends.
I honestly, I think a man remains a child here. जितना मर्जी छुपा ले साला वो उसको. But some maturity comes, some wisdom comes. यहाँ से यहाँ आ जाती है बात. Pain is a teacher. Pain.
What my mom did was she tried to give me a life that was better than hers. And just by my upbringing, I will try to do that exact same thing for my future kids. It's how the world works.
I don't have a wife and I don't have children. So there's a family higher up. They're my parents, my brothers and sisters. I am committed to an extent as wherever, whatever the civilization requires us to do, I've been doing that. They all do not understand my kind of a pursuit because I'm very different. But I end up doing it. Even if I don't like it, I end up doing it. But I have not taken on a responsibility further because I do not want encumbrances or don't want to pass the damage in case there is. I've just decided my pursuit, whether I succeed or not, is essential. So that decision I've taken.
I got a few role models, and they are everyday heroes. They're people who've grown up in situations that I've grown up and have still made it to, where they are. That's leading good lives. They've got good houses, good places to stay, enough money to put their kids through school, and kick back and relax when they decide they've had enough. And I think those, more than anything, are role models.
In my head, I'm all constantly my work is not good enough, or if I start something, I won't be able to finish it, and that's usually where, I don't know, that must be my worst fear of rejection, probably. Yeah.
See, there are pressures, I'll speak for myself. As a child, my parents were not very rich, but they put me in the best school. Half of their salary went into educating me. But I was not meant to be a academic, a scholar, मेरे को तो motorcycle बनाना था साला. So I grew up with that pressure, and I was told every now and then, that we spending this money on you, because parents had their dream, कि ये engineer, doctor or one of those things बनेगा. And if you show to be a smart kid, तो आपकी लग गई फिर उसके बाद. तो now आपको तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर ही बनना है. मतलब women were always smarter, girls. They'll score more, they'll. तो वहाँ बेइज्जती होती थी, ये क्या है यार साला ये. हर बार they would compare me with my like female cousins, you know. Look at her. In mathematics I used to get 1 out of 24 because I used to write my name very nicely and class and everything. So they used to call me he's the one, you know. And it was not my scene, yaar, and I can't study mathematics. Then you barely out of that, the pressure of proving yourself, you know, amongst your friends only, that okay, you have to have a good looking girlfriend. कैसे आएगा यार good looking girlfriend? मतलब in our times when we were in school, it was another ball game altogether, man. You had to woo the girl, you know. Cards, हर चीज़ के cards आते थे, मेरे को पता है. वो लिखते थे हम. You had to be gentlemanly yet assertive and insisting. If you're not insisting, then you're only gentlemanly, you know. You won't get a chick. You make yourself like a girl who's available, basically. कि चलिए है, इसको मैं देखता हूँ. With your flickering self-esteem. And then in our times it used to be very funny that उसको कहते थे उसको offer कर दो. Offer. The word was offer. What the man? What do I offer? You know, like, would you like to be my friend? And then once the starts, when she says yes, then you have no clue what to do, man. So girls have it very easy that way, you know. There are men wooing them and coming all over them, and candidatures has been people vying for it. वो लड़के की लगी रहती है हमेशा. वो बेचारा, he's always forever trying, and then comes love. The most elusive ever. Love and happiness, you know. Then it's heartbreaking, yeah, for a child, you know. You don't like nothing about that girl. You love her, you know, because you must. Going through all of that, you know. Deep down in your subconscious, a male always thinks that he has to become the provider, the breadwinner, the protector. It's too much, yaar. You cannot. It's not on a day like today. It's but he has that. It comes from his DNA, that pressure. He lives with that.
I don't know where I'm going to be 10 minutes from now, so yeah, that's a hard one. Somebody asked me that 10 years ago and I didn't have a clue. So hopefully in Manali, in a small little cafe owned by me with 15 bikes. Hopefully, but not in Bombay, not here, not this. I mean, this is okay for a bit.
On long rides into the unknown, you need support. All kinds of support. Emotional support. That I have my people with me, you know. It makes it fun. We are like friends forever now.